want to run from a 48-year-old man. He ain't running from me, he's coming to fight. And so I gotta dig in my bag of old Philadelphia fighters back in the day. I gotta study, I gotta get on my game, and I gotta take the young boy to old school and be the professor I am and let him know his ABCs.
Over in the UK this week, we've got a big super midweight fight. As you know, we've got Carl Froch versus George Groves. What's your prediction on that one?
Huge fight. Big.
Yeah.
Big, man. Big. When you can put a fight in a stadium and sell 40 to 60,000 tickets as quickly as that fight did, and then expand to 80,000 and expect 80,000 people to be there. Hey, that's not big.
Yeah.
That's mega. That's I mean, this is the most anticipated super middleweight fight, super middleweight rematch to be exact since Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn had their rematch
back in '92
in front of 42,000, I believe, or 40,000. This is almost going to double that number. So people are saying it's the biggest. It's one of the biggest fights in British history, and I can't come up with a compelling argument against that. So I'm anticipating it. The fact that HBO is going to carry the fight here in the U.S. and show it live, that says a lot.
Yeah.
And you know what? When Carl Froch is involved, it's always going to be interesting. It's always going to be entertaining. Whether he runs over somebody the way he did against Lucien Boot, or whether he has to claw his way back as he did against Groves in their first fight, the way he did years ago against Jermaine Taylor, or fight tooth and nail all the way to the wire, the way he did twice against Miguel Kessler, or against Jean Pascal in his first title bout. See, this guy's fun to watch, man.
Yeah, he is.
I know his attitude. I know his personality rubs people the wrong way, and it rubs people the wrong way here in the States as well. And there's a lot of guys who are hoping he gets knocked out. A lot of media members who don't like Carl, and they want some new blood in the super middleweight division, and Groves looks like the man. He's got talent. He's got athleticism. He's smart. Outside the ring, good interview. He's smart inside the ring. He's got attitude. He's got a crazy confidence. A lot of technique to go with his athleticism. He showed a lot of people a lot in that first fight last November, and what a fight it was. And the controversial stoppage left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, and they want to see what happens in this fight. It's not just a big fight in the UK. It's a big fight worldwide. If you're a boxing fan, you're interested in this fight. I'm a huge, I don't just cover the sport. I love boxing.
I love same here.
You know what? I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be at Wembley. I'm going to be watching on TV probably from my kitchen table. And I'm going to have butterflies. I'm going to have goosebumps.
Honestly, that's what
introduced and the opening seconds of the first round. Everyone's going to be sitting on pins and needles because of what happened in the first fight. They're going to be looking to see if Groves can't catch him again. And Groves better be careful not to go for it, not to press too hard. Because Froch is one of the most dangerous guys out there, even when hurt. And you know what? I'm going with the old man. It's a gut pick, totally. Totally a gut pick. I'm picking Carl Froch to stop him legitimately, hopefully in non-controversial fashion in the late rounds of another terrific fight.
Do you think the first fight was controversial?
I think he recovers better. But go on.
Do you think the first fight was controversial, the stoppage, or was it just right?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was, here's the thing. I thought that the stoppage was just right in terms of sparing George Groves physical damage and any psychological damage, because I thought the tables had been turned, and I thought that Froch had finally recovered from the opening round knockdown, which was a very hard knockdown, and had recovered from a lot of hard right hands that he'd eaten in the early middle rounds, and had begun to take over the fight, and had legitimately buzzed Groves and was on his way to maybe not stopping him in that round, but was on his way to beating the hell out of the younger man. That's what Froch does. He beats the hell out of you. He takes your soul. He showed that against Jermaine Taylor. And Taylor was ready for that fight. He was trained and he was ready. And man, he got his career beat out of him. Froch is a mean character, man. So I thought that's what was going to happen. So in that respect, the fight would stop at the right time to where Groves could say, "Oh my God, I was winning that fight. I was gonna win," and he suffers no ill effects. But the stoppage was premature in that it didn't give us a conclusive ending. You could question whether or not, Froch would have been able to finish him. You could question that. You could pose the question, hey, maybe Groves could have come back because he wasn't totally out of it. Mm-hmm. He was just in trouble. Yeah. So in that regard, I think it was. I said it, when it happened. I tweeted premature stoppage. Just like I think 99% of people watching the fight, it was stopped too soon. But I think it was, although it was heartbreaking for Groves, it was good for him because he doesn't suffer any psychological effects or any neurological effects or any physiological effects from a grueling, legitimate stoppage that may have happened in the 10th or 11th round.
Froch does his best work and his stuff is mostly on the ropes. That's where Froch is most dangerous, pinning you in the corner and letting those hands go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ryan. Can you repeat that?
That's right. So that's where Froch does his most damage, pinning you in the ropes and letting his hands go. That's his.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. That's where he does his damage. Once you're against those ropes, he, as soon as Lucien Boutet's back began to touch the ropes in their fight a couple years ago, the fight was over. Yeah. And if you stay against the ropes, he just beats you up so bad. And the thing about Froch is he's not pretty with anything he does. He's not a textbook technician in there. He doesn't, the way he delivers his punches, it's awkward. It's off balance. It's crude. He's crude in there, and a lot of people, they don't give him the respect he deserves. But he knows what to do in there. I think he's a good ring general. I think he's obviously an intelligent man. It comes across when you talk to him. And he knows how to operate under pressure. He knows how to operate under duress. He knows how to go about breaking somebody down when he has them where he wants them to be as well. And he gets some respect for that, but probably not as much as he would if he was more athletic or if he was a little more technically sound in the way he goes about administering his beatings. But at the end of the day, he does administer beatings, doesn't he? Yeah, he does.
That's exactly what he does, and that's what's made him a 3-time superweight champion of the world, or title holder. Just by doing what he does.
He's held 3 titles, and he's regained. He won the WBC title, and it was a heck of a fight against Jean Pascal. That was a vacant belt, and he regained it when he lost it from Nigel Kessler. Then he lost it, to Andre Ward in the super middleweight. I'm sorry, the Super 6 World Boxing Classic Tournament Finals. And then he regains the belt, an IBF belt, and picks up, I guess, the WBA regular belt when he beat Nigel Kessler in their rematch. So, he's won titles. He's just been a perennial standout champion and star in the super middleweight division. I guess since 2008, and he's been to hell and back. I think that's that also, just like we look at Sergio Martinez as maybe being a spent bullet going into this huge fight with Miguel Cotto. I totally understand anybody looking at Carl Froch and saying, hey, this guy is also a spent bullet because he's been in some grueling fights, grueling 12-round ring battles, and at some point there has to be some diminishing returns, and maybe we saw that in his last fight.
Yeah, they always say that.
So maybe we saw a little bit of it in his fight with Nigel Kessler.
Yeah, we did because
he won that fight. He got caught with a lot of shots. Yeah. He wasn't quite as sharp as we're used to seeing from him. That was a tough fight right there.
Yeah, towards the end, he started to fall apart a bit.
Yeah. That's the great thing about this fight. I have no idea what's going to happen. My gut says go with the warrior, go with the battle-tested warrior. But in boxing, there's a very fine line between being battle-tested and being battle-worn.
Very good point. Very good point. They always say great fighters have one great fight left in them, and I think that might be the case for Sergio Martinez and Carl Froch this weekend.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too, and you know what? This is not the journalist speaking. This is the boxing fan speaking. I hope it's true because I like both guys so much. I think both guys I think that they are the definition of world champion because they take on all challenges. They take on all challengers, and they seek out challenges.
Yeah.
And they don't take the easy road. They really don't. They look for tough fights, and they're willing to travel. They're willing to fight a variety of styles. And to me, that's what a real champion is all about. That's what the champions from boxing's golden age in the 1940s and 50s. Yeah. That's how they were.
That was it. Yeah.
They weren't kind of cherry picking here and there, and they fought whoever was willing to step in there with them.
Yeah.
And they didn't just stay in their hometown. They would move around within their own country, and they would sometimes travel overseas. Sometimes when that's where the sport took them. So I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for the challengers as well, but I got a lot of respect for the defending champions in these upcoming fights. Okay.
Dougie, thank you very, very much for your time and your effort with this conversation. That's been a wonderful, wonderful discussion with you, Dougie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.